Hey guys, welcome back to AF Farms on No Man's Land, carrying on with our No Man's Land series. So today we're going to have a bit of a tour of the wider farm, so it's quite a lot different. We've obviously got the forest in front of us. We've talked about the fuel station and the startings of the village centre in a previous episode. What I want to do quickly is we'll just jump out to the main map here and have a little bit of a look at how the map is looking. So basically, if we start from the farm shop area down here, we see that we've got our forestry area on the left, and then we divided up all those larger fields to a number of small fields, and then we've got our OG original fields up the back here, plus our solar farm top left, and then our central homestead farm is sort of in the middle. So I'll go through why I've carved up these fields the way I have, and what the plan is moving forward. So let's just drive down to the shop to start with, and then we'll take our tour from there. So obviously on the right here, we've got the John Deere dealership under construction. So this is just a decorative interpretation of a construction site. The dealership's not there yet, obviously, but I'm going to build that out over time, rather than, and then I'll reveal it in a video all of its own. So I've got a bit of a plan for that. Same with the town. Just let it sort of grow over time. Alright, if we take a right here, we're heading into the forestry area. So part of the reason why I wanted to put the forestry in was, so I'm going to get into the car view here, got a couple of deer. There's a few productions in the Platinum expansion that utilise forestry, and I wanted to plant a forest anyway, so I've just gone the forestry route with the in-game planters and the spruce trees. Now, the issue I'm having with this is it's very dense, so I'm not sure if it's going to show up on the recording, but the frame rate may be dropping in and out because there's just so much to render here. So there may come a time where I thin this forest out, and I plan on doing some logging tutorials and stuff like that as well, so I've got a nice big patch of trees to work with. So I'll just jump into the build mode quickly, and you can kind of see the slope of this hill heading downwards. So this is really problematic for the machines to get up and down. I mean, they were able to manage, but I just prefer to be farming on the flatter surfaces. So here you can see it, this is where it tapers off, and then it loops back around to where the John Deere dealership is going to go, and then potentially there's going to be some other buildings in this area here. So haven't quite decided what that's going to be yet, but maybe some productions, a central warehouse, that type of thing. So what you may also notice too is we've got quite a few green walls built. So just zoom out a little bit further. So we've still got quite a big field here. This is still going to give us quite a bit of crop, but it's just less effort to farm overall, and it just lets me have more crop varieties. So if we go back to our map, based on the seasonal cycle, we've got sugar beets, potatoes, corn, sunflower, and then we've got our regular oats, barley, wheat, sorghum, that type of thing. So this area is basically undeveloped as yet. So the plan is to sort of build this out over time. Let's cruise down this way. So I wanted to take advantage of the, so if I get back into the build mode quickly, really wanted to take advantage of the sloping hills. So when you look out over the farm, you get that really rolling hill look. So this is going to be a grass field actually. So when this is all grown, it'll just look like a sort of Cotswoldy European countryside, rolling hills sort of vibe. So, and then obviously we've gone in with the separation of these green walls again, so I'm calling them just the green wall, kind of like a big hedge, which is just planted with a series of trees. So we've got Downy serviceberry, the American elm, pagoda dagwood, poplar, Then we've got the shagbark hickory, which is that one there. Then we've got the small pagoda dagwood, which is that one in front, which you can sort of see. And then the downy serviceberry, the small version. And then just a whole bunch of various shrubs and plants in the undergrowth. And that basically stretches all the way along. So basically you can see it sort of from one end of the map to the other. So let's just go and take a drive actually. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So if we cruise down this way. Now being spring, it's pretty green and leafy, but in autumn it probably looks the best. So fall for our northern hemisphere players. So it's got that, it'll have that orangey sort of look to it. We've got a clearing here that just takes us out towards. So I'll jump out of the car actually. So we've got a nice expansive sort of field here. So I haven't decided whether I'm going to put trees in along these roads or just leave it open. So I haven't decided quite yet what we're going to do there. Moving down this way. So just to sort of get your bearings of where we are at. Coming up to the central road. So it's running left to right at this intersection. Excuse me, nearly taking out the deer. So to the left is the main farm down there. To the right is the shop. So let's carry on. And obviously we've got the gas station fairly central in the map. So if we jump into the map here, obviously the center is there, but for this section it's fairly central. So let's just zoom in a little bit. Got our potato field, and then our town sort of just peeking through over to the side there. Over this way we've got our green wall, so this is the one that extends all the way across the map. Really utilising these hills and dips to sort of show the land off. Another clearing, heading up to some more fields that way. Over to the right here, got a nice big field. I don't think there's anything planted in here at the moment. No. So that just links up to the farm village over to the right, back over that way. So it's still a big field, but it's not as big as I did have them. Obviously, if you've been following the series, you'll know what I'm talking about. So it just lets me get more work done, and then obviously we've got this sort of try and get a bit of a view here with the camera. We've kind of got that expansive lookout towards the other side of the map without any trees. So I've tried to plan out the tree layout to not block views. So certain parts of the farm you obviously can't see, but certain parts of the farm you can almost see from one end to the other, which I just think looks pretty cool. So here's another nice long straight road. Same sort of deal. We're on the outskirts of the map at the moment. Obviously I put this green wall in a little while ago. I put the lookout and started building the forest. And then we've got the lookout up here, which I did a video on. A little bit of a track up that way. So let's zoom in a little bit. So you can sort of see the aesthetic we're going for. Just sort of fill that big forest area in. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this road as big as I've got it. Probably going to shorten it because I don't really need it to be this big. What have we got down here? That's just a couple more fields. So that's the main road. So there's basically two main roads. So if I jump into here quickly, we've got the road that runs from the shop directly to the farm, and then we've got two roads that run left and right, which go all the way to the end of the map, and then you've got another left to right main road, basically where the farm and the main road meet. So currently we're at the back of the map. So we're going to swing past the main farm, which is just down there. So another nice decent sized field here. So I guess the other plan too is to have fields of varying sizes as well, so I can use different sized tractors rather than just using the large tractors all the time. I want to be able to utilise the small and medium tractors a bit more. So these are getting into our bigger sort of open areas up here. And we've got the solar farm on the right, so we'll just swing past that quickly if you haven't seen that. The fire truck is there to help take elevated photos and screenshots. So you can climb up the top there, look down, get a nice view of the farm. So I'm thinking potentially going to put a biogas plant in somewhere along here. So utilise this field on the right for chaff. Put in a big silage bunker. Kind of makes sense having it near the solar farm for power generation. Alright, I think we've got a worker here who's just finished planting some corn. So we've got some. Let's have a look at the map area where we are. So we're on the left side of the farm now. To the right here takes us back to the forest area. And if we keep going straight ahead here, we'll come up to the main farm. So we've got all our productions here currently. We've got our main grain silo. So I'll just do a quick lap around. So not much has changed here since last putting this in. I've just gotten rid of that warehouse that I did have because it wasn't working. So I've just got the one warehouse, which is basically straight ahead. Industrial bakery is over to next to the silo. What else we got? Coming into the main farm now. So if we hang on right here, this is our construction equipment yard. So currently got a bit of equipment all over the place. This little thing here is actually a workshop trigger, so I've got the markings turned off, but that's actually what that is. Just while I'm doing a video, I like to turn them off. And then we've just got a big hard stand. So a hard stand is just a big concrete pad to park equipment on. So that's just all hanging out here. I've got to organise it a bit more. A couple of new tractors that we've bought. So we've got the Challenger. I've got the forestry mulcher to delete trees. So I've had a couple of trees that I've misplaced. So I've deleted those. Colossus harvesters, so they've been a staple for a little while. So we are now effectively in the middle of the map. So straight ahead we've got the farm shop, gas station, all that stuff. To the left is the entrance to the homestead. So we'll just drive in through the main gate. Actually, before we do that, I just want to jump into the build mode. I did have grapes in this area. So this was all grapes. However, I've basically got rid of them because they've withered and they don't grow back unless you prune them. And because I had such a huge area, I've decided not to keep them. I've got the olives here. So the olives don't wither because they're a tree, effectively. They just look tree-like all year round, which just looks a little bit better for the map itself. Alright, let's go into the homestead. So we've got the big entry. So these gates actually open and shut, so we'll just get a look at that. That's another mod from the mod hub. I'll open that up there. Then we've got the pagoda dagwoods lining the entry driveway. And then obviously our nice lake. So that's the original lake for No Man's Land. Basically the same shape. Just sort of smoothed out some of the textures and the edges. We've got our equestrian arena, so we've got horses in there. This is the main residence area, so 2 garages backing onto the olive orchard. And the horses are just sort of hanging out in this area here. So this is another mod, the large horse pasture with equestrian arena. So that's part of it. And then I've got the separate equestrian arena in here, which is, you can see the grass texture difference. So this is the boundary of because it's not obviously not fenced, but I've put this fence in to encase the entire area, just to give it a bit more of an authentic look. And you know, when you're riding the horses around, you can do these jumps and stuff like that, so it's just, rather than just riding them around randomly. And it just sort of fits the look of the map a bit more overall. And I think that is about it. Oh, we'll just swing around the side of the main house. So obviously this is where the grape orchard was. A couple of greenhouses. This area here, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I may put some animals in here, so cow shed, sheep, pigs, that type of thing. Or I may put them in over on the other side where the factories are. So I may move some of these factories elsewhere, just so I have more points to drive to in game if need be. Or I'm going to put cow barn, chicken coop, sheep pasture, all that sort of stuff in here. So have all the animals kind of co-located together in one area. Just makes it easier to look after them. And then obviously we've got the courtyard garden, which we did a few episodes ago. So we've got the decorative flowers and stuff like that. A couple of garden lights. And then our pool, little arbor, playground, a couple of trees. So that's all pretty much the same from when I put it in. And then we've got the courtyard country garden, which is kind of what I'm going to put in the town centre area as well. So just sort of replicate that. So that's pretty much it for the map at the moment. Yeah, like I said, lots of stuff in the pipeline, lots of projects, lots of farming to obviously take place as well. So I'm looking at, you know, utilising all the productions, all the modes of farming, so cotton, other grains, sugar beets, potatoes, potentially sugar cane as well, definitely forestry. So I'm going to do tutorials on all of those as well. So it's kind of a two-part sort of playthrough. So obviously we're building out the farm, the no man's land map, sort of how I would like it to be, and then obviously along the way, sort of sharing different tips and tricks and strategies and how-to guides on various things. So really just trying to utilise the full spectrum of what the game has to offer as a playthrough. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as well. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, because that really helps me out with the algorithm and getting the content out to more people. And just want to shout out to the community as a whole. So the modders, the players, the developers, everybody involved in the game. It's just such a fantastic community, and really just a great game to be involved with. So thanks everyone, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.